Remember, the three types of distracted driving are visual, manual, and cognitive. Next, we will show you distracted driving video. Think about each type of distraction while watching this video.
Imagine this. You're driving down the road, paying attention to traffic, people, dogs. You're watching out for all the crazy stuff that can happen when you're driving. Good job. Okay, let's make it harder. Imagine you have to keep driving at high speed in a busy area, but now you have to do it blindfolded. Sounds ridiculous, right? Of course it is. It would be downright insane. If you talk on a cell phone or text when you're driving a car, you're practically doing the same thing. You're at the wheel of a big disaster waiting to happen. You don't see what's coming. You're not in control. Talking and texting virtually blindfold you, taking your attention away from driving and putting yourself and others at serious risk. In fact, studies have shown that drivers on the phone have worse reaction times than many drunk drivers. Gabbing on a phone while you drive means you're up to 6 times more likely to get in an accident. And using a hands-free speakerphone or headset doesn't help. You can still be just as distracted, according to scientific studies. Texting while you're driving increases your chances of a crash by a whopping 24 times. That's scary, but what's even scarier is that 70% of teens in a recent survey admitted they'd been in a car with a driver who was texting. If you're in a car with a distracted driver, even your parents, you have the right to speak up and ask them to stop. Each year, distractions caused by cell phones contribute to more than 1.5 million crashes, more than 600,000 injuries, and nearly 6,000 deaths. These numbers represent real people with lives just like yours. So why is distracted driving so dangerous? The answer lies in our brains, which aren't really designed to do more than one thing at a time. Don't believe it? Try taking a math test at a Lady Gaga concert. Not easy. Also, you only have one pair of eyes. So taking your eyes off the road to text is a recipe for catastrophe. When you drive distracted, you're dangerous, and in many places, you're breaking the law. So even though it's tempting, please put down that phone. Think about the dangers to you and others, and just drive.
Your decisions can affect others. It's important to think about others when you're driving. The most simple way is to just put your phone down while driving. Just make the decision right now not to be distracted while you drive. Most of us don't even live more than about 15 minutes from our school. I think we can all put our phones away for 15 minutes. I want you to think back to the last time you sent a text while driving. Where were you? Was there anyone else in the car with you? Were there any other cars around? I want you to think about what could have happened if anything had gone wrong. People can get hurt or killed. The best way to make sure that this never happens is to make the decision right now to never text and drive. If you don't want to be responsible for taking the life of another person, take a moment right now and decide to never drive distracted. Another way is to just toss your phone in the back seat. Out of sight, out of mind, right? You can't reach your phone in the back. You also can set your phone on Do Not Disturb while you're driving. Do Not Disturb mode mutes all calls and alerts on your device, unless you set them as expectations. You can set Do Not Disturb mode to turn on and off automatically at scheduled times. As a passenger, you can help the driver from being distracted. You could monitor the driver's phone and read text to the driver and send the replies. Also, if you notice that the driver's distracted, you could just remind them to focus on the driving. Did you know that there are several apps to even help you prevent from texting and driving? There's one called DriveSafe.ly, Drive Safely. This app reads your notifications and texts aloud as they come in. That way you do not have to look at your phone to see your notifications. You can keep your eyes on the road. If you really have to see a text or send one back, just pull over the side of the road and stop. Do the same for drowsy driving. Pull over, get out of the car, and walk around to help you become more alert. Wake up. Other distractions that you should be avoiding while driving are eating, applying makeup, and activity of the other people in your car. We all get a little rowdy sometimes, jamming out the music. Just try to keep the rowdy down and not distract the driver. Here's some statistics. Did you know that it takes on average about 5 seconds to read a text? The average speed in America is 55 miles per hour. This means that in 5 seconds a driver's taken their eyes off the road to read a text. They have traveled an entire football field. And that's just assuming they took it off for 5 seconds. They could have been looking off at their phone for 10 seconds and traveled 2 football fields, who knows? Over 2.5 million people in the U.S. are involved in road accidents each year. The population of the U.S. is just 318.9 million. At this rate, the American people could be extinct in 2 human lifespans. There are many things in nature that can distract you while driving. When you text while driving, the time that you spend with your eyes off the road increases by about 400%. According to this survey given to students at Uinta High School, 94% of teenagers understand the consequences of texting and driving. However, 35% of them admitted that they do it anyway. Teen drivers have a 400% higher chance than adults of being in a car crash when texting. We're already super dangerous, why be more dangerous? You are 6 times more likely to get in an accident because of texting and driving than drunk driving. That's right, texting while driving puts you in danger, just like drinking and driving. Each year, over 330,000 accidents caused by texting while driving led to severe injuries. This means that over 78% of all distracted drivers are distracted because they have been texting while driving. A study at the University of Utah found that the reaction time for a teen using a cell phone is the same as a 70-year-old not using a cell phone. Your reaction time is not as good as you think, you guys. Every year, about 421,000 people are injured in car crashes that have involved a driver who is distracted in some way. The chances of a crash because of a crash of any reason is increased by 23 times when you are texting. Even if the crash is another driver's fault, chances that you would have been able to avoid it if you had been looking at the road instead of the phone. When polled, 77% of adults and 55% of teenage drivers say that they can easily manage texting while driving. They're lying. Only about 2% of people in this world can actually multitask successfully. When teens text while driving, they veer off the lane 10% of their total drive time. So just don't text and drive. 82% of American teenagers own a cell phone and use it regularly to call and text or message. 52% of these teens talk on the phone while driving and 32% text on the road. Let's pledge to decrease these statistics. We will be having a pledge wall during quarter roll tomorrow for all those who want to pledge that you will not drive distracted and that you will not distract other drivers. Don't make a decision that you might regret the rest of your life. Is a text really more important than a life? Make the decision to drive distraction-free.